Welcome to my channel. The APC presidential candidate, Ahmed Tinubu, has a lot against his presidency. That in a decent society, he will not be among the front runners for the election. In fact, he would have dropped out. But because Nigeria is a country where people have scant regard for transparency and accountability. That is why some people are even projecting him that he's going to win the next election. With the kind of baggage around him, he ought not to be among the front runners. In fact, he will not even have emerged the presidential candidate of the ruling party. But because Nigeria is a society that have no respect, no regard for transparency and accountability, some people are even so confident that he could win that they are ready to bet on it. But ordinarily, he ought not to be among the front runners, going by his record. Some of them are in public domain. Some of them people have not even bothered to read them. And that's why they say when you want to hide an important information, put it inside a book. Obasanjo have written a book where he exposed some things about Asiwaju Bola in his book, My Watch. Yet, many people are not aware of it. Obasanjo classified Asiwaju Bola among one of the worst corruption cases in Nigeria. But is anybody talking about it ahead of this election? Nobody. In fact, because of some top players in this election, corruption has been relegated to the background, even though corruption is the real reason why Nigeria is underdeveloped. So with the baggage of corruption trailing Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, how can he be able to solve Nigeria's problem when he cannot be able to address the issue of corruption and doesn't stand on moral ground to be able to fight corruption? Going by what Obasanjo wrote in his book, My Watch, that he represents one of the worst cases of corruption among the governors of his time. And Obasanjo said that he was writing in that his book based on information he got from the chairman of Economic and Financial Crime Commission. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, yes, EFCC, Nuhu Ribadu. And Nuhu Ribadu that wrote that report and handed to Obasanjo is today among those running around Asiwaju Bola Tinubu as his campaigners. That is how things has degenerated in Nigeria and how tolerant Nigerians have become of corruption or perception of corruption. And little wonder that Nigeria is one of the most corrupt countries in the world. Millions of followers being tolerant of corruption, not minding the fact that the situation the country is facing is because of corruption. So that is one of the baggage that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is carrying, the perception that this type corruption perception is one of his greatest undoing. That in a decent clime, he will not be able to even cross the hurdle to emerge the presidential candidate of a ruling party. Then there's also allegation about uh, issue of drugs, which David Houndier made. I will also put the link of that allegation by David Houndier, which has also been dealt with by several other Nigerians, talked about by several other Nigerians. I will put several links down this video. Yet, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu still remains strong. The media are not talking about that investigative report by David Houndier. You can imagine what would have been happening if it was Peter Obi or any other candidate that investigative report by Houndier was about. You can see a huge cover-up. Now, if Nigerians are aware of this, there's no way, in good conscience, they would allow such a person to be elected president of Nigeria, especially not when he has not come out to refute those allegations that was made by Houndier. But you can see, he's still there, standing strong, so to say. But in a decent society, the kind of society we claim we want to see in Nigeria, such a candidate will stand no chance. Then you look at the issue of being a democracy. As Bola Tinubu is not a true Democrat. People have this tendency to say that Bola moved forward for democracy under Nedeko. But we all know that he's fighting for democracy to revalidate the presidential mandate of MKO Abiola was half-hearted because there were the reports, written ones, that he first lobbied to be in that government of Sani Abacha. It was when he couldn't get it that he reverted back to becoming a freedom fighter. Now look at how he has handled, even when he as a result of that, his relationship with Nedeko and Afenifere recommended him to be the governorship candidate of Lagos State. He did not show that he's a Democrat. For 7 years, he had 3 deputy governors. He impeached most of his deputy governors. Nobody removed his deputy governor as much as Bola Tinubu to show that he's not a Democrat. He did not allow even the State House of Assembly to exercise their freedom. They were like a rubber stamp. Even when the allegation of the drug allegation came up in 1999, the State House of Assembly passed a resolution clearing Tinubu of any wrongdoing. Even when it was not their job to do it, but they have to do it because they were a rubber stamp. Many of them were there at his mercy, at his pleasure. So if you, with all this kind of history, there's no way in a decent society where people want to see the country developing from being a developing nation to a developed nation that will tolerate this. But many people are not asking questions. All you hear now is that Aswad Bola Tinubu will replicate what he did in Lagos. What did he do in Lagos? Lagos was the colonial capital of Nigeria. Lagos became capital of Nigeria in 1914. Aswad Bola Tinubu was not yet born there. He was not yet born. Even before then, Lagos was a colony. Most of the infrastructures you see in Lagos have been there by successive administrations, federal administrations of Nigeria. Lagos is having an undue advantage. It has everything to make any nation, any state great. It has a federal seaport. It has federal seaports built by federal government of Nigeria. It has all the infrastructures needed for a modern city as a result of the consequence of being the federal capital of Nigeria. It has all the financial institutions domiciled there. Lagos is the headquarters of banks and other corporations. The banks did not start making Lagos their headquarters because of Tinubu. All the major banks in Nigeria, right from colonial times, were domiciled in Lagos and their headquarters. It wasn't a result of business acumen or business wizardry of Aswad Bola Tinubu that made Lagos a business hub. It has always been there. The railway station from Lagos to Kano and from Lagos to Maiduguri, all these things were put there to help economic development of the country, moving goods from the hinterland to the seaport. All these things worked in the advantage of Lagos. So there's basically nothing that Aswad Bola Tinubu did in Lagos that it is novel. Anybody could be successful in Lagos as governor. And I've said it in another video where I said, tell me any governor who have governed Lagos State, the media did not treat him as a star. In the eyes of Nigerian media, Lateef Jakonde is a star. Otedola is a star. The present Minister of Works and Housing, that's former governor of Lagos State, Babatunde Fashola, is a star. All the governors of Lagos, even the military ones, are treated as stars, including the current Director General of Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Buba Marwa. He was once governor of Lagos State. Even though he was governor under Abacha, the media in Nigeria treated him as a star, as different from others. Because it's easy for the media, majority of whom are headquartered in Lagos, to be bought over by governors of Lagos State. Since they can be able to dish out largesse to everybody who poses a threat to their stay in office, including the media. So if not for that, if you put Aswad Bola Tinubu under scrutiny, you find out that he performed abysmally, given the amount of resources at his disposal as governor of Lagos State. Nigeria's commercial capital and Nigeria's political capital for several years. Yet Lagos, as we're in the rainy season, is taken over by flooding. Lagos is one of the worst cities to live in the world. There is no accountability about the finances of Lagos since 1999. This is as carried out by a non-governmental organization budget. So that is a whole lot of issues with Asiwaju Bola Tinubu that ordinarily in a decent society where people ask questions, he would have dropped off at the primary level. If it were a place like the United States, he would have dropped off for a long time. Once David Hundiyin came up with that report, that is when he would have given up. So that's one of the odds against him, that he failed to manage Lagos well. Today, Lagos is the most indebted state in Nigeria. Despite all the humongous amount they claim they collect as revenue. Because when you ask them, they say, Tinubu increased internally generated revenue in Lagos by over 2,000% or more. Yet, what they have generated all since 1999 was not able to meet the needs of Lagos. Lagos is today the most indebted state in Nigeria. Its indebtedness is only second to the federal government. And that is what they tout as an achievement. And then Asiwaju Bola Tinubu epitomizes godfatherism. Ever since he became governor of Lagos State, he has been playing the role of a godfather. And you and I know that anywhere there is godfatherism, there is no transparency, there is no accountability. What you have is the leadership of the big man. And you have to dance to the tune of the big man, no matter how well intentioned, for him to allow you to operate in Lagos. In a decent society, that is enough for Tinubu to have dropped out of the race. But he keep moving on because the society has tolerated him and his brand of politics. And it seems that he is stretching that his luck to become the president of Nigeria. But there are now a whole lot of people who are doing the best they could to stop him from becoming president by bringing to light his antecedent. Despite every effort the mainstream media are making to black out real information, the truth about Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, there are still people who are aware of this within Lagos State and without Lagos State to let Nigerians know what happened in Lagos and what is still happening in Lagos. And if you listen carefully, you will discover that these things will work against Asiwaju Bola Tinubu in a decent society. And now in Nigeria, as this information is being made more aware of, many people will distance himself from his candidacy because of the danger it portends for the country in terms of handing over the country to a leader who will not be transparent, who will not be accountable to the people. Now, before I go further, please, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. Now, what can Nigerians do? What is the alternative to Tinubu, given that he represents the opposite of what the country needs? The country needs a transparent leader. The country needs a leader with traceability in terms of academic traceability, origin traceability, and all whatnot. The country, because that is part of the process of knowing how transparent a leader will be. If a leader, you have a leader who you don't even know his background, where he attended primary school and secondary school, the university he attended, it gives cause for concern. It's only in Nigeria that such a leader can emerge. It's only in Nigeria. Now, the country needs a leader that will fight corruption. A country needs a leader that will be able to handle the massive debt of the country. For you to get such a leader, it must be a leader that will stop the looting of public treasure. And that leader is a leader that has shown example in transparency. Now, if you look at the presidential candidates available right now, there is no leader like that more than Peter Obi of the Labour Party. He is transparent. You know virtually everything you need to know about your leader from him. You know where he attended primary school, secondary school, university. All his academic records are intact. You know his state of origin. You know how transparent he was in the management of resources of Anambra State as governor for 8 years. You know that he is averse to taking public money. Since he left office, there has never been a time EFCC accused him of looting the treasury of Anambra State in any shape or form. He is the only governor who is not enjoying pension, unlike the humongous pension bill or pension law that Asiwaju Bola Tinubu passed as governor, which he is enjoying right now. Not even pure water is P2B enjoying from Anambra State. He didn't instigate any pension be a law for Anambra State that will benefit him. It shows you that he has commitment for service, unlike Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. There are several records, and I will download some of them. I'll put the link for you down in this video, where you will see P2B for years now, going from schools to school around Nigeria, donating huge amount of monies for the building of infrastructure. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is never known for this kind of philanthropy, because that's just not in him. As far as Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, it's all about himself. Right now that he wants to be president, it's all about himself. It's not even about the Yoruba nation. It's not even about the APC. It's just about him. Because if he has scant regard for APC, he will not be wooing years a weekend. But being a man who is desperate to just be president, he has to disregard Amechi, the APC leader in River State, and be running around years a weekend. That is him. If it is only Muslim ticket that will give him the presidency in his mind, he will go for it without regard for morality, without regard for equity, justice, and fairness. Peter Obi is not like that. Peter Obi have even said it that he's not desperate to be president, but he's desperate to see Nigeria work. So this is the kind of leader that Nigeria needs. Someone like Peter Obi, who is not desperate to be president, but who is desperate to see Nigeria work. He has taken his time to study the development trajectory of several countries in the power sector, in the small and medium scale industries and everything. He has done it as a leader. He has shown that a leader is one that has studied so that he can be found worthy of leadership. That is the kind of leader Nigeria needs right now. A leader that will devote his time for the development of the country. A leader that will see public money as public money and use it only for public good. A leader that is not interested in being a godfather. Peter Obi is not interested in being a godfather. It's not like Tinubu, who since 1999 has remained a godfather in Lagos, determining who gets what at the expense of the public. If Nigeria wants a new nation, devoid of corruption, devoid of godfatherism, devoid of exclusivity, and they want an inclusive nation, a development-oriented nation, a nation that is committed to carry every part of the nation along, then the choice is clear. It cannot be Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It has to be Mr. Peter Obi of Labour Party. That is the truth. The odds, if we look at it objectively, is against Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And the odds are in favor of Peter Obi. If Nigeria and Nigerians are ready for change in their country in 2023. Thank you for watching this video. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button. Because when you subscribe to my channel, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you.